Alright, I want to ask you something before we even get into this. Have you noticed how whenever Kai Cenat is involved in anything, and I mean anything, things instantly get chaotic? And no, I'm not talking about one moment. I'm not talking about one clip. I'm talking about a pattern that's been building for a while now. Because at a certain point, when the same thing keeps happening over and over again, you have to stop calling it a coincidence. And before anyone jumps into the comments swinging, let me say this up front. This is not a hate video. This is not a cancel Kai Cenat video. And this is not me pretending Kai personally controls millions of people like some Twitch Thanos. But let's be honest for a second, there is something going on with his fanbase, and it's getting harder to ignore. We've already talked about Kai before on this channel. We talked about the awards situation. We talked about the mental health stuff. We even briefly touched on the fanbase. But if we're being real, the fanbase part deserved its own video. Because that's where things actually start getting uncomfortable. This isn't about one bad fan. It's not about a few weird comments. It's about how influence works when it gets too big, too fast. Kai Cenat is one of the biggest streamers in the world. That's not up for debate. His reach is massive, his audience is young, and his energy is a lot. And when you combine huge reach, young viewers, and high energy chaos, you don't just get entertainment. You get consequences. And I don't mean legal consequences, I mean cultural ones. Here's the thing people don't like admitting. Influence doesn't require instructions. You don't have to tell people what to do for them to copy you. People watch how you move, how you react, what gets rewarded, and what gets ignored. And over time, fans learn exactly how far they can push things. Clip slot 1. Fan chaos, crowd behavior. Primary option, footage of large crowds swarming Kai or reacting wildly in public. Union Square style clips. Police presence, crowd surges. Backup options, news coverage about streamer-caused chaos. TikTok compilations of fans overwhelming public spaces. Commentary clips reacting to out-of-control fan moments. 8 to 12 seconds max.
Get your ass on my car! No! Get your ass on my car! Get your ass on my car! Get your ass on my car!
Now, I already know what some people are thinking. Well, he didn't tell them to do that? Yeah, you're right. But here's the problem with that argument. Fans don't need permission, they need patterns. When chaos turns into viral clips, laughs, reposts, and attention, fans take notes. They learn that escalation gets rewarded, and once that idea spreads, it doesn't stop on its own. It multiplies. And look, I'm not saying Kai wakes up every morning like, how can I cause public disorder today? Obviously not. But when moments like this keep happening, and there's never a real pushback, fans interpret silence as approval, especially younger fans. And that's when things shift from hype into entitlement. This is where I think people underestimate how fast fan culture can spiral. At first it's jokes, then it's swarming, then it's ignoring boundaries, then it's acting like rules don't apply because it's for Kai. And suddenly, everyone's shocked when public sentiment starts turning.
Because he got some money on? Shit. I mean, I'm sure you aspire to have some fucking money one day. Clearly you struggling so much. When you make your money, if you come talking about your mental health, is this the response that you're gonna want to get? I mean, what did he do? Just was transparent about how his mental's been and, you know, how he's been dealing with things and struggling things behind the scene. Is that like the worst thing in the world apparently? Shit, I don't know. Damn.
This is where the irony kicks in. The louder and more aggressive a fanbase gets, the worse it actually looks for the creator. Brands notice this stuff, platforms notice this stuff, the general public definitely notices this stuff, and suddenly people aren't saying Kai is funny, they're saying his fanbase is exhausting. And once that narrative starts, it's really hard to undo. Another thing that doesn't get talked about enough is copycat behavior. Fans don't just watch Kai, they imitate him. The energy, the confidence, the lack of hesitation. Now multiply that by millions of people. Some of them are going to take it too far, not because they're evil, but because nobody ever told them where the line actually is. And this is where Kai is at a crossroads. Because once you reach this level of influence, doing nothing is also a decision, whether you like it or not. Fans watch what gets addressed and what gets ignored. And right now, the pattern looks like this. Chaos happens. It goes viral. Everyone laughs. Nothing changes. So fans push further next time. Does this mean Kai's career is over? No, not even close. But does it mean that if this keeps going unchecked, the fanbase will eventually become the main story instead of the content? Yeah, and we've seen that happen to other creators before. You can already see the early signs. People saying they're tired. People saying it's too much. People saying they don't even hate Kai. They hate the culture around him. That's usually how things start shifting. Not overnight, not dramatically, quietly. The smartest creators recognize this early and step in. They set boundaries. They remind fans that real life isn't Twitch chat. They shut things down before it snowballs. The ones who don't usually act surprised when public opinion flips. So I'll leave you with this. This isn't about cancelling Kai Cenat. It's about whether someone with this much influence can afford to ignore the chaos around them, because influence doesn't disappear when you look away from it. And right now, this situation is still unfolding. Let me know what you think. Do you think creators should be more responsible for how their fan bases act? Or is this just the unavoidable side effect of internet fame? Either way, this conversation isn't going anywhere.